We're early.
Early day. Hello, people. I wasn't in the middle of a project for once, which is great. I was just showing around Dustin, who brought the Raptor back, which is good. If you aren't familiar, the Gen 1 Raptor ended up on the side of the road in Destin, which is almost 6 hours away, about 375 miles away. And he went and I asked for help on Facebook, and he went and bailed me out. Got it off the side of the road, took it home, got it fixed up. Turns out it's the Fuse 27 thing you're supposed to do with all Fords. You know about this thing?
No, I don't know.
There's a Fuse 27 mod. I don't know if it's regular F-150s as well, but apparently the fuel pump, and there's like a fuse box in the back of the, or maybe it's just a fuel pump relay, but it's out near the spare tire somewhere, and they tend to melt. Well, it turns out that the hub problems just so happen to happen at the same time that the fuel Fuse 27 thinger blew up. Apparently, I'm the only one who didn't know about this. So
2009 to 2014. Right?
Yep. There you go.
Interesting.
So anyway, the Raptor's back, and it's sold. So sorry to all of you to break your hearts, but this was a sold as is deal. It's like, hey, I'm not fixing the door, I'm not fixing anything. So I'm very transparent. Here's what it is. It just needs a dude. Like, if it was my truck, I would just continue to nurse it, and I'd be washing it all the time and taking care of it, diagnosing things, changing fluids. But it's Michelle's, and she puts a lot of miles on, and I just want something to work. And so I went and bought a Gen 2 Raptor with 6,000 miles, 2020. And it starts leaking water down the A-pillar day 2 that we get the freaking thing. So I start pulled out part of the A-pillar. Turns out that there's no drain line. They just didn't put the line in. It's just not there. Like, there's a little nipple, and I can't figure out why it wasn't leaking all the time. I'm thinking maybe the people never opened the darn sunroof, so it was sealed. Michelle gets it day one, opens the sunroof, breaks the seal, and then starts leaking the next day. And so I'm thinking, I started doing some research. Apparently, this is a problem with these trucks all the time. And so I'm thinking, well, shoot, maybe the drain line came disconnected. So I pulled it apart the other night, and you can see very clearly. So there's the little drain that pops out, little nipple that pokes out into the headliner area, and then there's clips where the drain line's supposed to go, and there ain't no drain line. So they just at the factory, this typical American made, they just forgot to put it in there. And so I call the dealer here locally, because I bought it from a Chevy dealer, used. And I bought it from called the Ford dealer. And I said, hey, here's the deal. Here's what I want to do. I don't want to let the truck sit there, because the Tesla's out of commission. And I don't want Michelle driving my M3. So it's like this. I don't want the truck sitting there for 4 or 5 days while they're waiting for parts. I said, I know exactly what it is. I pulled it apart. Here's what I like to do. I like to buy the part, even though it's warranted. I said, how about this? Let me buy the part. So first I'm talking to the scheduler, and they're like, oh, it sounds like we need to get you with a service writer. So they get me with so from one girl to the next girl. And so the service writer, she's like, oh, I'm going to get you with the best service writer. So this girl comes on, and she's like, I've been here for a long, long time. I said, oh, great. And here's what I want to do. I want to buy this thing, because I know you're not going to trust that I know what this is, because most of your customers don't know anything. So, but I know things. This is what I do. I play with cars all day, every day. So I opened this up. I diagnosed it. It's missing the drain line. I'll give you the part number. So can I give you the part number, and let's order the part number so that we have it. She's like, oh, we can't do that. I said, no, just hear me out. I'll pay for it. Here's my credit card number. I'll pay for the part. It's like $30, $40, something like that. I'm 99% sure this is what we need. I just really don't want to do it. I don't want to pay for the part and do the labor. I just don't want to do it. I just want to come. Michelle will hang out there for an hour. It'll take your tech less than an hour. What we need you to do, sir, we need you to come in. We have our technician diagnose it. I said, no, I'm telling you what it is. She's like, well, we can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? I'm telling you exactly how to do it. You order the part. I'll give you the part number. Sir, we cannot do that. We do not do that. I said, it was very clear that she had no idea. She doesn't know anything about cars at all. So this is key scales Ford, freaking idiots. I tried to buy the Gen 3 Raptor from the other day, and the guy's like, "Why don't you come in and let's sit down?" I'm like, "No, I just want to buy it. Here's my money. I'll tell you, here's exactly what I want to order. Can you do it or not?" "Well, we need to sit down and discuss it." "No, we don't. There's no discussion to be had." It's just, God, it's so frustrating. So guess what I did? I bought the part. I'm going to freaking do it myself.
Make a good video.
Unbelievable. So this is why everybody talks about warranty. You don't want what the warranty is going to give you. Just buy things and throw it away and get something new. I'm tempted to just throw this freaking Raptor away and get another one. I mean, just the whole idea, like my epoxy floors are warranted for 10 years. No, they're not. My fridge is warranted. I'm buying it based on the warranty. Well, what good is the warranty? You still have to have somebody come fix it. You know, it's like if my fridge breaks, I'm not getting it fixed. I'm just buying another one. You know, I'm just not going to deal with that. I mean, now maybe it's a Sub-Zero or something. You have a decent chance of getting someone, you know, out there to fix it and knows what they're doing. But this is the way it goes. I mean, it's so people that live their life, but there's like warranty people that live their life. They buy everything based on the warranty. It's in my experience, all a warranty does is make you more frustrated. Just freaking try to do your best to buy stuff that you don't think you're going to need warranty service on, knowing that if you buy quality stuff along the way, most of the time you're not going to have a problem. And if you do, 1 out of 50 things you buy, then just punt. You know, we had a couple of guys that were, complaining or asking and questioning and basically wanting me to pay for it. They have, a couple-year-old Mossmatic guns that are leaking internally, probably because they're dropping on the ground, but maybe not. Maybe they're taking really good care of it, and that's just bad luck. So I'm not paying for it. I got you 98% of the way there. You got to finish it out, and so just buy another one. It's $100. Something you have for a couple of years. Mine's 5 years old, but I just had good luck. And and then we have thousands of them, if not tens of thousands of them out there that are fine. But people want you to, people want companies to stand behind the warranty. Well, the warranty was a year, which we stand behind, and then that's it. And even then, I mean, if my gun broke in a year, I wouldn't be freaking chasing down warranty. I'd just throw it away and get another one, no matter how much money I spent on it. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. One of probably many.
First rant, good. The actually that addressed a question that we had. Somebody was asking about dealerships and service, so you answered that question.
I hate it.
Been asked, yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
All right, let's see here. Kurt says, "Hey from Cincinnati, nice to have you back, Chris. Matt did great while you were away." I don't know if I believe that. I didn't watch him though. I don't know. Our good buddy Brian, checking in from California. Good. What is Matt replacing Beadmaker with?
The Slipstream, which is a B&B product that we have to private label. So.
We're in the queue to get it.
Okay, whatever that means.
Yeah, it's going to be.
We don't have any bottles to put it in, so I don't know if that really matters.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to get to a quick question for you here. From S. Walker on Instagram, how often do you reapply Wolfs on glass, and what is your procedure?
Well, it depends on how you manage wipers. If you're a wiper abuser, then you're gonna have to do it every couple of months. If you're like me, and you have a bunch of cars and you're kind of managing your wipers, like I use like the manual, the push down or push button on the wipers way more than I ever use. I never use automatic mode because that never freaking works on any car. So like on Porsche, I'd use like intermittent 1 or intermittent 2, but most of the time I prefer to just hit the button. And so if you're like me, then you're going to get 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 months out of it, especially if you have a few cars. But in most cases, 3 to 6 months. And if you kept your car clean and maintained it, you could just slap another layer on it and be fine. So I think for most people, 3 months is probably what you're going to get out of it. For most OG types, 6 months, and then for the really discerning wiper user, 9 to 12 months out of it.
All right, let's see. This question, you were just talking about this before it came on, so I wanted to address this one from Brian H.E. on Facebook. Any updates on the North Carolina house?
Yeah, so I everybody's on mountain time up there. They call it mountain time, which means that nobody works and nobody does anything. So it leads an opportunity for me to go up there and take over this town. But the appraisal that I ordered that requires more effort was $2,000, which is freaking nonsense.
$500 to start, right?
Yeah, you got to put $500 down.
Oh,
And the reason why they have you put $500 down because they'll still make a profit even if they don't ever finish it, right? And so even if you don't pay the rest, they're still making money because an appraisal is $300 tops. They're just using some bull crap. They're going to go fumble around, look at the house for 15 minutes. They don't know jack. And they're just using comparables, and then they're applying a formula to it, and they have certain leeway on what they can add as, extra value and stuff. It's a bunch of freaking nonsense. But I wanted to get an idea of what these nonsense appraisals, what they're going to value this at, so that I can continue the offer process, because I don't want to pay more than what it's worth. And it's real estate is so much more difficult to value than it would be like a product where there's competing products and things. It's easier to value something, or you just look at what it cost. What did it cost to make, and what does it cost? Adding an appropriate margin. Real estate's a bit different when you're in second, third hand, fourth hand. So the bank is only going to lend me a certain amount of money based on the appraisal, and so I'm getting at least an appraisal is worth $2,000 to me, because right now we're $650,000 apart. No, $550,000 apart from what they want and what I offered, and so they didn't even counter. And so a little tactic, a strategy that I suggested is, well, let me do this. Let me order an appraisal. Thought it'd be like $300. Well, it's $2,000, and I was like, well, let's do it anyway. $2,000. I mean, in the grand scheme of this transaction, that $2,000, if it saves me $550,000, then we're good. And it was a wise investment. Chances are that $2,000 is going to turn into vaporware, because my guess is it's going to appraise for about what I offered, and then they're just going to not accept that. Or maybe they do. Maybe they don't accept that, but we come up a little bit. I don't really want to come up a little bit, though. I want to borrow as little as possible, and I want to, I'm not a big fan of negotiating, but I know what this house is worth. I know what they paid. They paid $270,000 less than what I offered 11 months ago, and made the house worse. So if they came in and made all these improvements, I'd be down for it. And so anyway, we're gonna get that appraisal today, and then the appraiser's like, well, I have shingles. So supposedly they went out and did the appraisal. They did the work, which means they drove by it, and they're just putting the report together, which means they just plug a few numbers into a boilerplate formula, and then it kicks out this 20-page bullcrap report where there's like 1 page worth of information that's any use. And so that's where I'm at. So when that comes in, my guess is it's going to come in $100K less than what I offered for the thing, which means I'm going to offer $100K less than what I originally offered, and then we're going to just part ways, and I'm not going to get the house. But I don't want to, I don't want to get in trouble. This is the first one, so I would rather err on the side of caution. We're also looking at New Smyrna, and we're looking at of course the whole mountain area. If I did my first Destination OG property here and close by, it would be a little easier to learn and manage and get it set up as the first property. But I was just ranting about this before we even got on the podcast. It's almost too easy. Do me a favor, if you're doing this live, Google rent for the week luxury home New Smyrna Beach. See what you find. I'll foretell you here, nothing. VRBO is the biggest cesspool of garbage ever created. Right behind the worst cesspool is Airbnb. And you click on like some of these will show you like the luxury home. You click on it, and it'll be like $280 a night. I don't want to spend money, but they get 10 best New Smyrna Beach luxury rentals. Luxury, what? Freaking nonsense. There's nothing luxury. They have luxury vinyl in it. That's why they call it luxury.
You like this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Beach house directly on the beach. It's freaking pink. It's $200 a night. You know, I'm talking about buying a 4,000 or 5,000 square foot house. Who cares how many it sleeps? I'm not going to use any of that terminology. And then you got the base rental fee, right? And then you've got the cleaning fee, and then you've got the booking fee, and then you got the management fee, and then you've got the tax, and then you got the security deposit. How about just tell me the number? It's $5,000 for the week. It's $2,000 for the week. It's $2,000 for a hunk of crap for the week. But it's on the beach, Matt. We're there for the beach. Yeah, but I'm not at the beach all day. I'm sitting there on the couch half the time watching TV because I'm on vacation. I want to relax. I like to go out in the garage and play with some cool stuff and see some neat things and maybe tinker a little bit. Change the oil in my car or something like that while the kids are out running around. Go to some nice restaurants. So tell me where the restaurants are. Tell me which ones to go to.
It's better and better.
It's just unbelievable how easy this should be. I'm going to freaking change the world here, Chris.
Oof.
Why don't we? I'm going to create a real estate investment trust. I'm going to raise, $10 or $12 million. I'm going to go out and buy $10 or $12 million worth of real estate. I'm going to build DestinationOG.com. We're going to set it up where it's Netflix-like booking, where you can cancel, you can come and go as you please, up to a certain time frame. It's a flat number. It's not $4,997.99. No, it's $5,000. You're not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. Why do we need to pretend? And if it's a $3 million house, it's $8,000 a week, or whatever the numbers work, where I can make a little bit of money, pay for the property over time, and offset some of the errors and costs and things like that. It's like, am I crazy? Is it that no one's going to spend there's no way. There's people that spend $20,000, $30,000 for a week on a big house, or they bring like 10 families all at once. Just want a nice house in these areas where people want to be, and instead you got a bunch of freaking garbage. That's your luxury home, Chris.
You would hate this house so much. Everything about it.
That's 1970s. It hasn't changed since the 70s, other than there's 37 coats of paint on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you get. Do that for any town, anywhere you want to go. Like, if you're into rentals, why would you not build a website and then spend money on SEO so that it shows up? It's almost too easy. Or, of course, if you had really great listings on VRBO, but then you got to pay them all your money. It's freaking crazy. Maybe I'm completely naive, but this seems so gosh darn easy. I'm going to just raise a bunch of capital. I'll go out and buy all these properties. I'll pay a handsome return back to the trust. People get a nice dividend, and we'll do our whatever you got to do to create the trust, and I'll go and buy like, it'll take me a little while to find the properties, but I'll buy 10 or 15 properties all of the North America, and then I'll have this this pool and build this great website, and every single property will be branded. It'll have a brand and have a whole multiple pages of data and content around it, where you do like video tours of the home and show them like a real tour. Like, this is what it looks like when you walk in the house, not some nonsense. So I'm looking at this one house in New Smyrna, and they're giving a video tour. And they walk up, so they go through the whole house. I'm like, they're going to go in the garage. Please go in the garage. They got to go in the garage. They walk up to the door and hold the camera on the door. Hold. I'm like, they're going to go in. And they turn upstairs at the end of the video. Like, realtors are the dumbest people on the planet. It's like the easiest job in the world to show a house. Just show me what it is. I don't need you adding any bull crap. Show me the garage, for gosh sakes. Give me an idea of what the houses look like around it. Stop freaking BSing me through this stuff. It's unbelievable how easy this should be. I need to do this. I'm going to have to do it because it doesn't exist. Like, why can't I just Google Park City luxury house, big house in Park City, and find Park City probably have a better chance, But God bless you trying to find it in Florida, for gosh sakes. I mean, and there's millions. So I'm looking at somebody's house on Zillow, and you look at the house that's for sale, and then I look at the picture, and you're just trying to see the houses around. I'm like, man, what about that house? That house? There's like 57 houses around. Who has all these houses? Unless you live there, you wouldn't know. You call some realtor, and he's freaking stupid, dumb as a box of rocks. Doesn't even take a freaking picture of the garage in any house. Oh, no one wants to see that. What are they going to complain if you put a picture of the garage in there? Like, I can't believe you put a picture of the garage in there. How about take a picture of the garage in there? It's like 20% of the house. Freaking stupid. God. So if I want to rent a house in New Smyrna right now, I get that pink thing. That's all I can get. Or I get some old lady condo. So
that's the answer to your question, Brian.
Well, I don't even know what the question was.
An update on the North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. So I've got to do this. I get these. I'm kind of get discouraged because I'm just trying to get a freaking appraisal and I can't get anything done. We almost need to just go into hibernation like everybody else is. Let's just take another year off, and we'll just come back when everybody else decides to go back to work. We never left. So when everybody decides to go back to work in the rest of the world, instead of freaking screwing around, hiding in a cave. I don't know, all these people have money now. You hide in caves. I don't know. I guess if you don't want anything, you don't need a lot. If you're okay with a $286 1970s pink house, then I guess you don't need any money. So you can just take the rest of your time off. It's freaking stupid.
All right, back to a couple questions from the chat here. Guy B32 just purchased a new truck with white letter tires.
Yeah, go take your tires to the tire shop and turn them around.
But hypothetically speaking, what would be the best cleaner to use on the white light?
Don't even worry about it. Go turn the tires around because it's not 1977.
Sorry, Guy, I tried.
Yeah, take them to Discount Tire. Say, hey, I need you to flip these around because this looks freaking stupid. And don't clean them because you won't see them. It's behind there. Never have white letters out. Ever. Never, ever. And don't freaking paint or put stickers of white letters on your tires. Don't do it. So that's an easy fix. Cost you $150. Palm the guy $100. It's $250, and you solve your problem. You never have to see goofy white letters sticking out because it's not 1977.
All right, Anthony and then Tim right after asking about the leaf blower short nozzle. We placed the order. Now it's just a matter of waiting. Yes, they will come out.
Yeah.
JR007, what's the best product to clean polypropylene, a.k.a. Swiss Tracks? I have yellowing from tires, and I've tried everything to remove it. Thanks, OG.
Yellowing.
On that?
Yeah, I mean, I would think if it's yellowing that it would probably just be, rubber residue, and I would do something like this, and then, just pressure wash the crap out of it. And that should clean it up. You might have to scrub it with like a brush, with like a broom. Pull the tiles out, lay them in the driveway, spray some straight up Green Star on it. Make sure the sun isn't drying it out. Grab your broom, like a broom, and just frickin' get it so that it's nice and lathered up, and that'll get you in all the cracks and crevices and all that. And if you really wanted to clean it, then flip it over. Just make sure you're not scraping it on the pavement, and do the same thing, and then get the under and over side really, really cleaned up. I think I did that when I pulled some tiles out of here to move over to the other side, and it'll clean it up real nicely.
Yeah. So what is this? This is the newest product in the store.
Yeah, Green Star all-purpose cleaner.
Okay. New all-purpose cleaner.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Pedro says, "Hey Chris, we're matching today. Got my black dialed-in shirt on also. Hey, you have good taste. I like this shirt." Let's see. Have you heard anything lately on the lake house? Did it sell? Is the guy still hanging out there?
No, he still lives there. Yeah, he's probably just going to keep it, I would guess.
All right, let's see. Shaz29. I occasionally cut drywall to hide cables, put new outlets, etc. Mm-hmm. Should I get an M12 multi-tool or the M18 fuel oscillating multi-tool?
I like the M18 better. I don't know. I feel like even though it's bigger and bulkier, I can kind of grab the battery, and then I have got a little extra power out of it. So I've chosen to do the M18 instead of the M12. I just used it the other day to cut a bunch of stuff in my house, cut some baseboards back and things like that. We'll have a whole accessory kit coming out here shortly. I just finalized all that stuff. And so all the accessory stuffs we're going to be photoing, videoing, and placing our inventory order. We just counted an inventory of what we have of that. But yeah, I like the M18 better. I have both of them, but I think the M18 is the way to go.
Our buddy Dan Pfeiffer up in Minnesota says, "Is GSF 5-liter back in stock?" No, not yet.
So what happened? So the whole prerequisite with that was, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep inventory. You need to keep inventory. And so they didn't keep inventory. They sold it to the other guys, just like I predicted. So now we don't have any freaking GSF.
Yeah, but in the next week or two, their containers come.
Nobody's buying GSF if we don't endorse GSF. And now everybody's buying GSF, and every retailer has GSF because they don't have a single original thought in their brain. And so now we have no GSF because they sold all of our GSF that I pre-negotiated into the deal to have GSF in stock. Otherwise, they would have sold, $50 grand of GSF in the U.S., but now they're selling it to everybody. And same old frickin' story. And I have, no ramifications.
All right, another quick Milwaukee question here. What is the advantage of using the M12 fuel installation drill driver versus the M12 hammer drill? I don't do anything crazy, but I do need to drill into studs sometimes.
I mean, the hammer drill is an extra $20 or something like that. You're not going to use the hammer function, obviously, for doing that kind of thing. You would use it for concrete drilling. And so unless you're going to buy a separate SDS, and even then, I find sometimes easier to just grab the hammer drill. So his two choices were
M12 fuel installation drill driver.
Yeah.
M12 hammer drill.
Yeah. If you're using it so the installation driver is not going to really be for drilling. It's going to be more for fastening, right? So you're going to be screwing things in. I think that the installation driver is something you buy as a luxury. You buy it because it has a bunch of right angle stuff. You'd be much better off getting the 1/4-inch hex impact, like either the surge or the regular, over the installation driver. It just doesn't have as much torque. It won't drive screws and things like that as well. And it's neither one. So the installation driver is not a great drill. So you really want a drill and a fastener, like a fastener drive, like an impact. And then you buy an installation driver if you just have everything else and you want a specialty tool like that. That would be my advice. So I would only buy the installation driver after I had those other two. And you could really, for home use, you could get by with the M12. They're much more versatile, the M12 versions are than the M18 because they're a lot more compact, lighter weight, easier to get into different areas. And so you want that, the M12 Impact. I forget the model. I think it's 2554 or something, maybe 2552. So we have a kit with the no, that's a stubby. No, it's no, those are the stubbies. I'm wrong. There's a kit in the store that's a 1/4-inch hex impact and the drill all in one little package. It's freaking sweet. That's M18. There it is, right there, up there, on their left, right there. Yeah, $229. That's what you want.
2504.
Yeah, okay. 25.
No, sorry, that's the hammer drill. Let's see
2504 and 2553. I was close. We shot the gap. So you want it's a Milwaukee, M12 fuel two tool combo kit, 1/2-inch hammer drill, 1/4-inch hex impact drivers, $220. We have them in stock. That's what you want.
All right, there you go. Then we have John here in the chat. Says, "Hey Matt, I owned a vacation rental property management company in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
We only had high-end expensive homes and performed the best. If you're interested in some pointers, I can email you."
Yeah, show me how to find what that was as a consumer. Right, I would love to know how people found that without you having to go and market it and sell it. That's not freaking VRBO. Even if it is VRBO, and it's unbelievable. Like how I guess if you find your grouping of people, and you don't need to advertise it. But how do people find this stuff?
He goes on to say people want to spend money. And when your properties cost the most in the market, you attract high-end customers.
Yeah.
That's true.
They don't. It's not even that they want to. It's they want something nice, and if it's priced higher, the odds of it being nice are better. And if it's not nice, you only go there one time. And hopefully, if you have good photos and videos, then they'd be able to determine if it's nice or not. And people have different definitions of nice. Like, for instance, 95% of the homes up in the mountains have yellow wood everywhere, which is the opposite of nice in my world. People get so mad when I say that. What's so wrong with that?
Let's see. Our buddy Jeff out in Oregon. I guess he survived the heat wave. Chris is back. Hope the vacation was good. Thanks, Jeff. It was good. Went to North Carolina. Followed Matt.
Got a home with some yellow wood everywhere?
No, it was an 80-year-old cabin, so it was before the yellow wood.
Okay, so this is like
school.
Tree trunks, yeah.
Yeah. And then stayed in a condo in Atlanta. It was nice. It was a bit of a challenge with a 2-year-old going on vacation. But
yeah, to me, that's not vacation. That's a freaking definition of a nightmare.
Yeah, that's
not far off.
Spot on. Megan would agree as well. Yeah. So we need to do our own little getaway soon.
Yeah, your getaway is just stay home and turn it and watch TV.
Harper's coming to your house. C-Mac wants to know, hey, Matt, when was the last time you palmed a hundo?
Shoot.
Been too long. You're out of practice.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, we palmed one to the guy up the other day to do the tires, but then all those guys got fired. I think we had something to do with that. So we palmed our way hundos into them getting let go. They're giving us special treatment. Yeah.
We're at the Goodyear place.
Yeah.
Oh.
That new owner didn't like having great customers that help take care of their people. They didn't like that very much.
All right, let's see. Anthony says, I see the Green Star. The directions for GSF suggest adding Green Star to the foam cannon. Have you tried that?
No. I mean, you would just do that if you wanted to change the alkalinity. I would change the pH of it up to be alkaline, which I don't really want to do that. But, yeah, you could use it for deconning. You could add some GSF to it to bring the pH up to 8 or 9.
All right, let's see. Who is this that asked me? Gas Tax Garage. Are Swiss Trax treadwear back in stock? I just went to the page. It appears they are, so they'll correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I think so. Let's see. Let me get you a question here that I think you would appreciate. When it comes to which car you drive every morning, how do you decide? Matt, what's your method for organizing the keys that you have in your house? That's from Hayden on Instagram.
Well, I usually have a couple of keys here, whatever cars are here, and then a couple of keys at home. I just throw them in my little drawer. I got little cubbies in there. The plan is to do a Hafila a kitchen and bathroom organization on all the drawers and pull-outs and stuff like that. Just waiting on my fantastic, that's a joke, cabinet people to get the cabinets done. But I just throw them in the drawer, and I don't know. Usually it has to do with what car's clean or dirty, and now they're all dirty, so I'm freaking screwed again. And part of it is because the yarn building's in shambles and there's freaking crap everywhere. So we're in this kind of limbo land of my garage at home is in shambles, and the garage here has got humans everywhere, and the yarn building's torn apart. And I decided to have an open house. It's going to be fun. So
if you come to the open house, you're going to do some work. That's part of the deal. I'm going to put you to work.
Yeah, right. The people would probably enjoy that.
You have to lay some Swiss tracks before you leave. All right, we got a super chat here from Michael Bowman, $9.99. Hey, guys, I'm picking up a new C63 next week and plan on keeping it 4 to 6 years. I'm considering having it professionally coated with G-Technic CSU. What's your opinion on that versus CSL?
Yeah, I mean, the CSU would certainly be longer lasting. I mean, if the vendor has that, if the installer has it, but that you want to make requisite, they're going to correct it first. Which you would think if they're an ultra dealer that they're certainly going to paint correct it and hopefully do a good job of it, and not just lock in all the factory defects. So you want to be sure that they're not just selling you some expensive coating. But yeah, I would probably do that, and then top with 2 coats of XO. All
right, let's see. Juan wants to know, hey guys, do you ship to Asia? Yes, we do. Almost every day. A lot of stuff going out there. Let's see. Cree lighting. Had a couple Cree lighting questions that just popped up in the chat.
Yeah, I got lots of info for you. We've made a lot of strides on that.
Yeah, what's the update on the new Cree lights? Maybe an idea of when we can expect to see something new from them in the OG store? What's the story?
So, you guys all know this. I've been chasing this for a long time. And I finally, after about a year of really, kicking and screaming and trying to get somebody to let me in. So, basically what happened is Cree, blew me off. I finally got the right person. That person then referred me to a local, representative. That local representative blew me off. Then I finally got, connected with Chris Buckaloo, who's my local. He's like the middleman, the guy that what do you call it, the vendor. And so I, started working with Chris, and then we did my garage at my house. Turns out I come to find out, because it's really hard to figure out what the retail pricing is. I'm like, what is the price? Like, what does this stuff cost? They said, well, we don't really have a pricing guide. I said, what do you mean there's no pricing guide? How do we know what this stuff costs? Well, we just kind of make it up. And so I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so then I hooked up with Adam LZ. There's a girl who's head of social media for marketing for Econolite, which is Cree's online website, which I had no idea. They don't really advertise that. But Econolite.com doesn't have a lot of the Cree stuff on there that I'm interested in. They have got a lot of the Sea Light and stuff like that. And so she and I got on the phone, just had a conversation about, what I'm planning to do, and she really loved the story, and she went to bat. This is Lauren. So Lauren went to bat and ended up going and getting the VP of sales here, who happens to be local to us, and so he's the one who Chris Buckaloo got me set up. Like, he's the one who approved me becoming a dealer. But the problem is, when I bought my first lights for my garage, I had no margin. I basically paid retail for it, and so they were just gonna have me, in order for me to make any money, I was gonna have to sell it for higher than retail, which is fine, because nobody knows what retail is. But why do I want to stick it to people when I could, just because I'm an idiot, not knowing what real retail is? Because what's going to happen as soon as we do this. It's going to be the same thing with GSF and Krenzler and all these other companies. We're going to teach people how to buy this stuff, which then the other retailer is going to finally realize how to sell it. And then Cree's pricing is going to be all over the place. And here I'm going to be the one selling it for more than retail, because I'm the only idiot who has to buy it through 3 middlemen. And so Lauren hooked me up with the actual Cree direct to then get me real pricing and a real pricing guide. And so the reason why it's taken me so long is because I'm breaking into a world that doesn't understand us, like the consumer, doesn't care about the consumer. They're not in the consumer business. These are professional grade lighting. These are 0 to 10 volt solutions. These aren't like your typical, lighting forward phase lighting fixtures like what we're used to. They're outfitting dealerships and warehouses and industry. And I'm attempting to bring these industrial grade lights into the home, into the garage, into the home, into the consumer space. And so, I have to go to bat for us to fight for this. And the thing that stinks is that I guarantee you I'm going to pave the way for everybody else to come and copy. But whatever, we'll always be ahead of everybody. And you can't fake passion. You can't make up passion. And so I have LS4s, LS8s, CRs, and ZRs, and CR troffers going in next door. And so I want to spend a little more time with them, and then I still don't have pricing on that. And so when I get pricing on this stuff, then we'll be able to know what is it going to retail for, what can we put it on the site for, what accessories do we need to stock, and we need to make a several $100,000 stocking order of the stuff. So you can see it seems simple, but I've been fighting tooth and nail behind the scenes for a couple of years to get to this point. I finally have a yes. Now I'm waiting on the pricing, and then I have to build out what are we going to carry, and then how are we going to teach people how to do it. And we're going to have to do it, one fixture at a time is how we're going to do it. So I think LS4s and LS8s will be the first fixtures, that and probably CR, which is CR CR6 Ts will be like can fit retrofit replacements. And then we'll probably be doing KRs as well for new construction and drop ceiling type applications. And then of course we'll teach you how to do the lighting, and then I'm after Lutron as well, to try to get Lutron. In fact, I've got to make sure I call that guy back from Lutron, because we need lighting control. And so I'm going to take all the sophisticated lighting stuff, which really isn't all that sophisticated. It's just foreign. So let's say all this foreign stuff, the stuff that's foreign to me and to us and to you, then unless you've really dug into it, it's complicated because there's so much choice. It's so there's so much you can do with it. For instance, I think we've also found a color shifting troffer 90 plus CRI where we can change color temp via the app on your phone, via the SmartCast app. So in a detailing studio, to have not Amazon 90 CRI, like real 90 CRI. Not douche hex light 90 CRI, because they're not touching 90 CRI on the face of the sun or in a vacuum. It's not happening. They're leaving out the R9 spec. They're giving you an average of their highest specifications to create a fake. It's like pressure washers say they're 1800 PSI. That's freaking nonsense. So same thing with most lights, but these are true. These are real. And maybe Cree may or may not be the best in every single category, but it's a lot like Milwaukee. They're going to have really nice stuff across all categories, and then we can start to pick and choose in the future as we create more lighting solutions.
All right, Blake also asked another good question here. What wiring should I have installed under the current lights to be ready for Cree in the future?
So you want, normal 14, 16, 14 gauge, Romex. And then you would also, just to be safe, run Cat 5 or Cat 6 from light to light. Or you can take and run all of your Cat 6 back to a single box. So you can either daisy chain it, or you can run, like what we did in my garage. We just ran a Cat 6, home ran Cat 6 to a single junction box in the garage, and then you can put your Vive, controller right there, your dimmer right there in that spot. The issue with Vive, the reason why we don't know anything about Vive is commercial only, and so, but that's the only way to get 0 to 10 volt, because the Caseta hub that you can buy at Home Depot and for consumers doesn't do 0 to 10 volt dimming. So we're going to teach you all that stuff. But yeah, run Cat 6 from each light. Either run them, daisy chain them, or to each lighting location, or just run it to a box somewhere.
All right, Darren here in the chat says, "Hey Matt, I just bought a new Porsche Cayman, and it came with gray and silver wheels. I would like matte black wheels. Which company should I look to, or should I get these powder coated?"
Yeah, powder coating is tricky. You got to take the freaking wheels and tires apart, and then you got to find a powder coater to do it right. You just want to look on the forums and try to find a used set, because if you buy them from Porsche, you're going to pay $1,000 a wheel, which you can. I've done that before. But usually you can also search in the forum, see if someone wants to trade you. So someone might be able to trade them. And you're shipping wheels, it costs you $300 or so. You can actually ship a wheel and tire, just make sure to protect the face, put a strap around it, and you could ship wheels and tires complete, UPS for a couple $100. And you could ship it and have the other guy ship it. Worst case, you put it on a pallet, you pay $600 to ship it freight, but yeah, I bet you could find somebody to buy them from.
All right, let's see. Michael here says, "Hey Matt, I know you ordered your Evo grill. Haven't seen if you bought a gas grill for your outdoor kitchen yet."
Yeah, I bought a Lynx Professional is what I bought for the gas grill. And I'm excited. I didn't even think about this, but I just made a OG Shorts video. So we have make sure you go subscribe to the OG Shorts channel. Obsessed Garage Shorts is where we're going to be putting all of our very specific, product-specific videos. We're going to be putting all of those up on that channel so that we don't clog up the main channel with a bunch of 2-minute, 3-minute long videos. But I just made a video and spent a little time on the Dr. Beasley's metal coat. I'm actually going to be metal coating all of my stainless at my house. I didn't realize, but it's good up to 1,500 degrees. It should last 2 or 3 years. Make it easier to clean up all of your stainless stuff. I'm gonna metal coat my my fridge. Should make it hydrophobic and make it hopefully less fingerprinty.
All right, Matt in the chat wants to know, do you plan on adding Hafila products in the store?
I think that would probably be reserved for Destination OG, that's part of the retail site, but it'll be pretty seamless for people to get to. I'd like to someday, yes. That's a huge catalog of tens of thousands of things. So that's going to be a long project, but yes, I would like to do that someday.
Let's see. What are the plans for the E46? Is it coming soon? What's the story?
Yeah, the cars up there, I don't know what this really means, but they're taking it through the EAG process. I don't know they're actually doing anything. They're just delaying. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out. I shouldn't speak out of turn, but I agreed to purchase the car. July 4th weekend was in there, and most people aren't like me. They take like time. So the whole company kind of takes off for 4th of July, where we don't do that. Maybe it's going to come back to bite me someday when all the employees hate me, but I don't like to do like these big extended, holiday things. But give everybody an ample amount of vacation, and you take that and do your own thing when you value it. But we had the July 4th weekend that fell in there, and so theoretically, what they do is you agreed to purchase, but they had just listed it, so I bought it probably before they put it through their normal process. And so then they go out and they drive it, and so Evan, sent me a report. They're really, really great about communication back and forth. Hey, here's where the car's at. Here's where it fits into the schedule. And so they have a whole checklist process they go through in checking out the car. I don't know how much they actually fix, other than just tell you, because hopefully the cars are already vetted. They aren't buying junk cars. But I don't know. Like, for instance, they said, what's your preference on coding? Like, what do you want? Do you want the daytime running lights on? Hey, there are aftermarket angel lights on here, because they're not big on aftermarket stuff. They're selling generally original cars. So there's some angel eyes on here. We checked them out, checked the voltage. Everything appears to be good. And then they said, well, they'd show you any sort of modifications. Here's, like, they took the stickers off the visors, and there's an outline. So I don't know if that means that they replaced them. That's what I'm going to do. So maybe the OG process is a little different than the EAG process. My process is I just buy everything and fix it. But I don't know if they just document it and give it to you. But I'll be able to clarify the process and what it's worth. And so I just got another one of their guys who said, hey, here's where the car's at. It's going to go through the final checklist process. And so I put a deposit down. But the cool thing is that, like, they didn't have me pay for it until it's ready to go. But I think most of their cars have already gone through that process before they sell it. I just saw this one pop up and bought it immediately. And so they're where the holiday come in there. So I'd expect the car to ship in a week or so. But I'm not in any rush. I got so much going on. Otherwise, I'd probably be, tell them, hey, let's go. Send me the darn thing. But I'm happy that they're holding on to it for me, because I don't have anywhere to put it.
All right, we got a super chat here from our friend Jose De La Torre, $4.99. He says, hey, Matt, the floor looks great. Thank you. So I guess you got some Swiss tracks?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, he painted the E36. E36 looks great. We did so the windows are back in. All the trim, all the window trim on all the windows has all been replaced and looks pretty good. We're going to do next week, we're going to do the cooling and power steering system. We're going to do the headlights. We're going to do the dyno and intake. We have some modifications there. So the Euro headlights, put the front bumper back on. So we're going to get all that stuff done since the bumper's already off. And the bumper clip's been repainted. The whole front clip's been repainted. And then we'll send it off. It'll probably be gone for a couple of months to do the interior stuff.
All right, let's see here. Anthony, I thought the same thing Anthony types here. He says, Matt always gets so many questions about what shorts he wears. For a minute, I thought the OG Shorts channel was about those.
Actually, this was an OG suggestion. These are, what is it, PRNA, Perna?
Piranha or
PRNA shorts. I kind of like them. They kind of have this weird tie thing in there that I don't use. I just want to use a button and a belt. But they're kind of stretchy, but golf short like. So yeah, check those out. PRNA. They were like $75 a piece though, for some from $3 shorts.
We got another super chat here. You can use this to pay for more shorts. Thank you for your hard work. This is from Derek T. And insight over the years. I appreciate your perspective of excellence and simplicity. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Derek.
Thanks. I'm always pursuing that. And excellence doesn't mean it's perfect. It means that excellence to me is a journey. You're excellent at 25. My 25 excellent is different than my 40 excellent because of time, money, expertise. And so that excellence tends to evolve and hopefully improve, which is sort of the definition of excellence. So you're continually improving towards some greater good, if you will. And so I think that excellence doesn't have an expiration date on it, doesn't have a time stamp on it. It's a journey thing. You're chasing the journey, and that's been a really big thing I've been learning about myself and chasing here. I found myself getting really wound up. We just hired a bunch of new people, and I'm like, well, I need to get in there and dig the ditch real fast, and we need to change everything because I was living I can see the destination now. I have a hard time articulating it, what the next interim destination is, but every single destination I've ever achieved is really just part of the journey. And so I went to the dentist yesterday, didn't pass out, had a really great experience, got my teeth clean. I've been avoiding it for 2 years of pure panic, and so it's like I focused on when I was there. It's just part of the journey. Like I'm waiting for the destination. So this is sort of a microcosm of life, in that when you go to the dentist, if you have a fear of the dentist, what's the worst part about? The worst part about it is fear when the dentist comes in at the end. He's going to tell you the damage, right? In my case, you're losing your front tooth. You're going to have to go through multiple surgeries. And so that fear is that the dentist is going to come in. But in the meantime, you met with a receptionist, and so you're scared of that person. And then you meet with the original check-in person, and then I'm afraid of what they're going to do. And then the hygienist, and then the person taking the X-rays, and then really I'm afraid of the dentist. And so instead, why don't I just take each one of these steps when it comes to me in stride, and I'll deal with whatever it is, instead of anticipating the destination, that last interaction with the dentist that comes in and checks you out and says your gums are melting off of your face or something like that, and anticipating all of those scenarios. Because when you live in the destination, you're anticipating all the potential pitfalls and scenarios. This is the root of my curse. It's the same thing I'm doing with the Milwaukee accessory package. It's the same thing I'm doing with I can see the destination of what the Obsessed Garage audio will look like. And then I'm missing out on the journey because I'm so stressed out about all of the pitfalls and all the potential problems. And same thing with all the people coming here. All of you guys are going to take care of yourselves by me steering the ship. But we don't have to, most people here aren't living on the destination. You're living through the journey. So if I can get on board with the journey, we'd all be in better shape. So I think the dentist is a good... that experience you have going to the dentist from start to finish is a good microcosm of what life is like, and that pursuit of excellence, and that excellence is pursued not on a destination, not at an end goal, but as a timeline where hopefully you're ever pursuing excellence, which makes you happier and the world a better place. For instance, I'm talking about chasing excellence in having a rental house, mainly to solve a problem that I have that I can't seem to solve by what already exists out there. And so if I'm enjoying the process of searching for homes and enjoying, I found myself well, man, if I don't get this house, then I don't get the destination, it doesn't work out, and I'm stressed out. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's what I got to say.
All right. Graham in the chat says, hello from Scotland. We got somebody listening from Scotland. That's cool.
Those are my
Thanks,
people.
Graham.
That's my... I'm English, Irish, Scotch-Irish, Scot, and German. Mainly English, and I believe Scottish. I guess maybe English and Irish and Scottish, because my My mom's maiden name is McAdam, for gosh sakes. A lot of whitey in there. You can see. Like, look at the difference in tone here, skin tone. The camera's actually probably darkening me up a little bit.
Let's see here. We addressed that one. So let me go back to this one. Dan on Instagram, foaming without a foam cannon.
Yeah.
Any update on the teaser clips that you posted recently?
Well, you need a big old soap tank is what you need, and you're going to need valves, and you're going to need multiple hoses in order to really make it work. We're going to have it, but I don't think people are going to want it. What's a Cobra Jet hose? $200. You have two $200 hoses. You're going to need some sort of stainless steel, another $150 block. You're going to need two $375 hose reels. You're going to need two guns, two wands. You're going to need the foam cannon attachment. You're going to need a tank for your soap. You're going to need to buy more and use more soap. You're going to need a deionizer or some sort of distilled water reverse osmosis system in order to really make it viable and work it well. So if that's what you're looking for, we're going to have that. But if you're just looking for a $30 little attachment without using a foam cannon, then that dream is
what this is.
Well, yeah, give up that dream.
All right, F1 Pilot Jeff on Instagram says, can I use your Decon wash on my 6-month-old ceramic-coated car that seems to have lost a bit of hydrophobicity? I foam it with the GSF and 2-bucket wash with CarPro, reset once a week. Thanks.
I mean, if you're using Reset, I don't think Decon soap's really going to help you, because that's all Reset is. It's just a slightly alkaline soap. So I doubt that it's going to help you. I like Decon soap much more than Reset. It's slicker. Its foam's way better, because Reset just gives you that kind of, it gives you nice coverage, but it gives you that, like, there's no foaming action at all with Reset. That's why I don't like it. Not that foam is the end all be all, but yeah, I think you would like Decon soap more, but I don't know that's going to change much for you.
All right, GoT54 on Instagram says, what are the biggest differences between Beadmaker and the new drying aid? Why the change?
The biggest difference is cons. The biggest difference is the probability of you screwing something up. So the process is much simpler. You'd have a hard time messing it up, and so that's the biggest difference. Just it wipes off easier. You need a little less product, but you'll find that you'll probably use about the same as you do with Beadmaker. But it still gives you that kind of that depth and gloss you're looking for. Like, I think you'd have a hard time seeing the difference between the two, unless you're just making stuff up. And so it looks good and doesn't have any of the byproducts that Beadmaker has, where it can tend to smear, supposedly attracts dust, like a lot of people are saying. This won't do that.
And Stint Placer asked about the status. We're still a few weeks out. We're in the queue to get that eventually.
Yeah, but then we have to bottle it.
Yeah.
So it's just like Beadmaker's not some big freaking game changer. It's just good. This is just a little bit simpler, a little bit better.
All right, let's see. What is the foam cannon soap/water ratio that Matt uses?
I do 150 milliliters of soap and about 600 milliliters of water, give or take. And then I mix it up really well. And then your water hardness will also help determine, how that's going to do. If you have really great water, you might be able to use like a little less soap. But I have a pretty foolproof. Works great with 150 milliliters.
All right, we have a super chat here from Spencer. He's wanting to know if this is rant worthy from you, Matt, about rain guards that people put around their windows on the car. You like those?
No.
They don't have those in the Porsche.
That's like the epitome of white trash. Yeah, you don't do that. They look stupid. What's the point? Why do you? Is that so you can put the window down when it's raining? Is
that a little bit, I guess. You want there?
Right? Yeah. There's no need for that to ever exist. It's like a lick and stick. You lick the thing and you stick it on there, and then they're always kind of wonky, and they always crack and get brittle over time. Yeah, you don't want any of that stuff.
It's like a fender flare for your window. That's what it looks like.
Or like that little hood thing they put on the front. They used to put the thing you put on the front of the hood with the remember the GTO lenses that you buy at Walmart, and you put them. They went over your headlights like in the 90s. They black out your headlights, so then your headlights don't actually work. You can't see anything. Yeah, all that stuff. I hated that stuff even when that stuff was like the cool thing. I don't know. I had an innate I had like an innate natural repellent toward what dudes like. It's just built in me, like purple stripes on the wall, and and hex lights. Gosh, the freaking hex lights! It's like you immediately know that that person's probably a way better person than me. They're probably anybody who does hex lights is just go with it, go roll with life. They're going to be a great friend, easy to get along with generally, but they just don't have a clue how cheesy that is, and how bad that's going to look in 3 years when you're like, what was I thinking? I thought that was cool, but man, that's terrible, because some Polish detail studio came up with this idea, hey, let's build these lights in the form of a hex, and then you're all distracted on the paint. It's just everything about it is just bad. It looks bad. It doesn't function well. The lights are cheap and terrible. You get terrible quality light out of it. It's just nonsense. So have a little just think ahead. Just think ahead a little bit about how is this going to look when I have pursued a bit more excellence. How's this going to look to me?
All right, let's see. We've had a question here I thought you might appreciate about. Is Matt going to get a pair of the new Nike Metcon 7?
Oh, yeah.
Just one pair?
No. Many pairs, yeah. I just bought these are the Reebok Nano X1s. I bought 2 of those. I really like them. I like the looks of the Nike stuff better, but yeah, I'll probably get the. I need to get them as soon as I don't know if they've released them yet. I don't see. I'm not a big early adopter. Just get it whenever I'm ready for it. Like sometimes if something's new, like I'm not super excited to get the first Model S. I'm thinking about canceling that order.
About the plaid one?
Yeah. Michelle loves the Gen 2 Raptor. She fought me on it. I said the tech, everything's about a little better other than the engine sounds terrible. But you got to get those freaking wheels off of that thing. They're a minus 45 offset. The truck's supposed to have a 0 offset. That's flush. 0 offset is aggressive, and it has a minus 45. I think stock is plus 12, maybe plus 18. I think maybe it's plus 18, and so that's 18 millimeters plus 45. What is that? That's 63 millimeter offset doucheness. That's how it's a plus 63 douche factor. I tell you what, though, when you see it rolling up from the front and you see this giant stance,
it looks mean.
But every other view looks terrible. It just totally ruins the Raptor. So there will be some 20 by 12, 6 by 135, so it'll fit any F-150 for all you guys who want to roll douche mode, with some Mickey Thompson Baja Boss. Even the name of the tires is douchey. You don't call anything Boss, right? But they're 37, 12 and a half, 20-inch wheels, fuel 20 by 12s. So I better not stop talking trash about them if I want to sell them. Someone won't care. A douche thinks I'm a douche, and so it works out great. So they'll still buy them. There'll be no problem. It's like, how could you roll around with wheels that fit and are flush and look good? Yeah. So the plan was to buy the truck. It'd be kind of fun to experience a lifted Raptor. It has a 4-inch BDS as the company lift. It's like a $2,000 lift. So it's the white trash, way to lift a truck is you buy a Skyjacker. So it's like a little better version of a Skyjacker where they weld on some plates and put some giant blocks in there and use the stock shock. So it kind of ruins the Raptor, but it's a quality white trash lift. And I wanted to see what it's like. And it was down the street at 6,000 miles. The truck was really well done from a quality perspective, other than them other than it not having a freaking drain line from the factory. And Michelle frickin' loves it. She loves rolling around in landscaper style. You know, it's yeah, it's on rent-a-wheel. It's a real classy rent-a-wheel. $80,000 Raptor. So.
All right. We have our buddy from Sweden, Thorner89. Hey, Matt, have you ever considered more like a station wagon or a state car?
Yeah, I certainly have. I mean, I like a wagon. What I don't like is a fake wagon, like like the car on stilts thing. But like an RS6 Avant is really cool. It's just, it's an Audi. I know I love the look of the Audi, but I know as soon as I had one, I would hate it because it's so boring. It's one of those things that you just get bored with in about six or 8 weeks because of a crazy understeer. But it is that power, the power those things make is pretty cool. But I would probably never buy like a 3 Series wagon or the stuff that's real popular. I do like hatches a lot. I always find myself attracted to Golfs and the Fiesta, whatever. Not Fiesta. Focus ST. Yeah. Those kind of cars I always think are super cool. The Citroens that are over there in Europe. So all those 400 horsepower hatches I always think are cool. I never actually gotten one though, so I obviously don't think it's that cool.
All right, let's see here. Flying Low says, have you seen the RR Racing Supercharger kit for the GT3 RS? TBK Motorsports in Florida is running this on his RS. Is it something you would possibly do to yours?
I'm sure that's a hunk of garbage. Yeah, I have no interest in that.
All right, any updates?
You just ruin the car.
Any updates on the Mr. Moreland versus HOA battle? What's going on there?
I think I'm good. So I got a call. Ooh, I kicked the mic here. I got a call from the developer, and because apparently all this stuff has come up because everybody knows that there's problems with the septic systems, but nobody wants to admit it. Either the septic guys, the health department, or the developer. And so they're all pretty good at spinning it toward the other party, and I don't even care. Like everybody else is worried about it. I'm like, I just want it fixed. Just pay for it. Again, going back to warranties, there's a class action group getting together of a bunch of homeowners, and they're doing all this work and have all this stress and create all this fight for warranty. It goes back to chasing warranty. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go work harder and create something that the world wants, and then I'll just pay for it. That way I don't have to deal with any of all this nonsense. And so the HOA people, so I submitted paperwork like let's say I moved in February, got in trouble, 2 months in. So March started getting letters, and I fought them a little bit longer. So in late March, I went and finally filled out the paperwork because I've already started the work. And then we, so I did the paperwork before we started the septic, but we already started to kind of tear up and get the landscaping ready for the impending doom of the tearing part of the whole yard. And so I went and filled out the paperwork. Said I'm going to swap all the grass to St. Augustine, and here's what we're doing. I kind of drew out. Here's what we're sort of shrinking these goofy weed beds that the previous owners had put in and then let go. But it's going to look great. And so finally 2 weeks ago in July, I get a letter and calls from the HOA. Hey, we got to get DRB approval of this application you filled out 3.5 months ago. And I said, it's already done. Grass is in, septic's done. We're about to put our rock in. We're painting the house the same color. So I'm just touching it up, just refreshing it so you don't see cracks and stucco and stuff like that. We haven't made any structural changes. I didn't mention the door that we put in, but they'd never even know. And so I put my own septic system in. The whole reason I did this is because the septic system blew up on a 3-year-old house. And so I'm just putting it back together. I don't need approval for this. I said, I submitted this approval 4 months ago. What's taking you so long? And so then I got a call from the developer, and he says, what's going on with this? And I said, well, I ate the cost. I'm trying to be the good guy here and fixing this dump. And it was a nice house, just making it great. And I've got these people all breathing down my neck because I'm making this great. He says, "All right, well, I'll get them off your back." So I haven't heard anything since. So yeah, I think we're good.
All right, let's see here. Outlander GoPro says, "Hey Matt, what exhaust can you recommend for an F90 M5?"
I think you're probably gonna have to wait. M5, the F90 is the. I'm thinking G80. Sorry, F90 is the current M5. Yeah, I don't know. You'd probably be best hitting up Sean at PSI. He would know. I don't know which exhausts work out best for that. It's probably not Eisenman. You always want Acura and Eisenman to be the ones, and then you get them, and they're just never great. So it's probably some, Active Auto Work or something like that, or some combination of a few things for that. But I think most of the M5s, like the middle section of the exhaust, are usually pretty good. So there's not much you can do there. So you're usually just cutting off the from the axle back, cutting those off and replacing.
All right, we got a compliment here from Justin on Facebook. "For years, I made a separate bucket of wash water for cleaning my wheels. After washing several wash and talks, I switched to a dedicated foam cannon for wheel and tire cleaner and rinsing the brushes a minute before and after each use.
Yeah.
Much better process for maintenance cleaning. Thank you."
Yeah, your brushes last longer, your bucket lasts longer. You don't end up with this nasty mess of by the time you get to the fourth wheel, especially if you're dealing with non-carbons or like regular steel brakes. My gosh, it's a disaster. So I don't like that. I mean, I guess technically you're not getting as much lubrication, but if you foam it up really well, you could always revisit and refoam it if you're halfway through the wheel. But yeah, I've never used a bucket to clean my wheels. It's so messy. I don't like that.
All right, we've got a super chat here from Addison Jordan for $4.99. "Hey Matt, on your Instagram, I saw that you got your live stream rig ready.
Yep.
When can we expect a live stream from the crib?"
Maybe I'll live stream the exit interview this weekend of the Gen 1 Raptor. I'm gonna wash it. I really don't want to wash it. I just want to send it on. But I need it. That truck deserves an exit interview. I've had it. This is probably the longest vehicle I've ever owned.
I think it is.
2016 is when I bought it. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I've probably had it for about 5 years. I don't think I've ever owned a car for that long. Nope. Not one.
There you go. So there you go, Addison. Maybe this weekend. Live stream from the poop house. I'll get to this one in a second. Scott Taylor on Instagram. "How do you find Geon glass cleaner compares to Stoner's?"
It's darn near identical. So, if you got a Geon ecosystem, then it makes sense. But otherwise, it probably doesn't. In that, Stoner's is what, $6 a bottle or $7 a bottle or something like that, and Geon's double that. But I mean, what's $15? Not going to make or break. The bottle of Geon glass cleaner last you 3 months. But yeah, I mean, Stoner's is always available, readily available to me, and I just they're very similar.
All right, let's see. Subi Dude wants to know, does Maddie just go to random products on the shelf and do random sniff hits from time to time?
No, I do not.
Yeah. That was the, I'll show you the picture here from today in a second. Ryan0229, if Matt had purchased the lake house, what type of boat would he have gotten?
I was going to get a... Crap, why is it eluding me? A Malibu... I can't even remember. This is how much I care about boats. Can't remember the model number, but it was a 20. I can't even remember the length. It was a 24-foot. It was a wakeboard boat, which I think is the boat to have. So I would have bought. And the only reason I'd rather have an Aeronautique, but the Malibus, the guy who services all the boats on the lake, like right there on the water, is he sells Malibu, so it'd just be easier to do it that way.
All right. There's the picture, by the way, today. You were full-on sniff mode on that McKee's. And
yeah.
That's what that is. Good job, Mike, as always. Let's see. From Gabed and Confused GTR on Instagram. It's kind of a long one here. I had recently painted my car. I'm currently reassembling it indoors, so it's getting various smudges and prints on an otherwise pretty perfect finish. I'm finding that typical microfiber plus quick detailer seems to introduce scratches almost immediately. What combo of clean product and towels can I use to keep the car clean and minimize scratches before I do the ceramic coat process in a few months? I know the ceramic coat will do a cutting stage, but the various fingerprints are killing me.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to just stop rubbing on the darn thing. Just know that, or if you're going to rub on it, like I'm rubbing on the E36 a lot, but I know I'm going to polish it. So if you're detail spraying or waterless washing it and you're wiping it down all the time after every time you do a new panel or something like that, I do that all the time too, then you're going to scratch it, and so then you're going to have to polish it. So you're going to want to polish it before you do the coating.
All right, let's see here. We got a super chat from Martin, our buddy Alligator Window 10. LSV Wake Setter.
That's what I was. Malibu LSV. That's what I was going to do. So. And it was thinking of the 23 footer, not the 25 footer. I think is what I was doing.
All right, let's see here. Greg Hansel, will we see more of the Ask Matt Anything podcasts, or is it only when Chris goes away on vacation?
Yeah, I think probably only when. Are they saying they don't like you? Is that the?
I think that's what he means. We want to ask Matt every week.
You don't seem too bent out of shape about that.
Brian wants to know, what was the washer-dryer setup you recommended for your house?
You want a Speed Queen, but I think it's the TC5. So they have two versions. They have the new digital, cleaner-looking version of the Speed Queen. You want the old-looking one because the other one has a different drum and doesn't clean as well. So yeah, and then the Speed Queen dryer. So you want that hideous combo, but it's the only one. It's the only one that freaking works. All this HE nonsense doesn't work at all.
All right, Addison on Instagram says, "Hey Matt, I've heard from a lot of previous videos you've wanted to get an RO system. Do you know any OG spec brands that are good that you would recommend?"
I ended up doing this was from a suggestion, I think, on the podcast, of a Kinetico, which is it's just like a two-stage, like a couple of two-stage, carbon type, resin type filters that are, salt cleaned or salt replenished at night. And so, it removes the calcium and iron, from the water. So that is freaking fantastic. But RO, I don't really have any suggestions. I mean, I think RO is pretty simple. You just put the little filters underneath the sink. But RO is kind of slow. I'd rather just have softened water, and then I have a carbon filter and the zip hydro tap that I'm going to be doing as well.
All right, John Cioli on Facebook says he's curious. When you pick out a new product to replace one currently in the store, has a vendor or manufacturer ever tried to talk you out of it?
No.
I can't think of.
I can't think of one either. No. I think they just kind of stop paying attention. And usually what happens is the product becomes so viable then that they don't even care about me anymore. Eventually that'll come back around to get them. Like, let's say that if I ever changed from Krensla, they'd probably think nothing of it, and then I think the reckoning would come over time as all the copiers would start following suit, or they may not be able to copy next time I change from. I'm not saying I'm changing from Krensla, just saying as an example. I think that they just don't care, because they're getting the sales from elsewhere. All
right, let's see. We have a couple people in the chat saying they've been looking for days and can't find the new OG Shorts channel. Is it live, Epiphany? I don't know. So Mike or whoever's paying attention to the chat here, let us know. Patrick Shannon on Facebook. Matt, would you ever think about getting a gated manual V10 R8 to experience?
Probably not. Either the R8's kind of nice. I just think an R8 is one of those things that, same thing with the NSX. You kind of get those after you've been 911 exhausted. and you just want something a little different. So I guess it never say that I won't get one, but I don't have any intention to. I like the NSX more.
Let's see here. Neil wants to know, hey, Matt, what are your thoughts on Apple's new M1 chip?
Yeah, I love it. I'm just sitting here waiting for M2, the 16-inch MacBook Pro, the M2 to come out. And same thing with the iMac, waiting for hopefully they come out with a 30-inch iMac Pro, M1 or M2 driven machine. Love it.
Oh, and Matt Duffy here provided a link for us. I guess that's to the Shorts channel. So thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. All right, I have a question here from DS Parful on Instagram. Will you get a set of Fixie FM5s for the E36?
No, I'm doing BBS E87s.
All right, any plans for power adders for the E36?
No.
Euro spec headlights?
Yes.
Maybe a 6-speed?
It already has a 6. I guess it has a 5-speed, so no. No.
And then are you going to end up doing the Dynon stroker kit on the E92?
Probably someday.
Lastly here, what exterior-interior color combo would you want for an E46? Comp package or don't care?
Well, I bought white on black, so white exterior, black interior. So that's what I'm getting. I would like to have Interlagos and black, or even better, Interlagos with cinnamon would be awesome. But I got white with black interior, which is one of my unicorns.
All right, let's see here. A. Harv asked a business type question for you. When does it make sense for Obsessed Garage to add a second warehouse shift, do you think?
I don't know. I think we've about reached capacity of humans that I want to have in here. So I think it's going to come, my guess would be sometime mid next year. Was when I was envisioning. We'll see how much efficiency we improve. One of the things that I'm questioning is not so much. So one purpose of doing a shift would be to have enough room to fit the humans and not have to have more space. The other purpose would be to just create more time, more people are shipping, so that way the customers are getting things shipped. So let's say you order something at 5 p.m., it still goes out. If we have it, it still goes out that day. And if the supply chain gets the supply chain gets fixed, or demand falls a bit, then hopefully we have supply again, and we can get back to this whole just shipping stuff out fast, efficient, clean, and well packaged. So.
Here you go. Here's the OG Shorts channel. We have 34 subscribers right now.
Why does it not have any content? There's a bunch of videos on there, aren't there?
The channel doesn't have any content.
Click on videos.
Nope, no.
They must not have launched them yet. That's probably why.
Gotcha.
Well, I don't like that freaking banner. I don't like any of that. We're gonna have to fix that. We need a legit banner and a logo.
All right, that's probably what they're working on right this moment. We got a super chat here, $5 from Scat Pack B, honoring the source for putting P&S Brake Buster in a foam cannon.
Oh,
you turned him on to that.
Yeah, I'm not the source of that, but I mean, I could be his source. Mm-hmm. I don't know where I got that from, but I think it was lots of people are doing it.
It was all me. That was my idea. Jay Nakayama says, "Hey, what mic setup are you folks using there?"
These are Shure SM7Bs on a Yellow Tech Mica silver arm. I'm actually going to be going to the lower mount arms, but you have to get a tabletop Mica mount as well, which you have to drill a giant hole in your top. But yeah, and then we have a Cloudlifter CL8 connected to a Shure 18i8. And so I'm going to be transitioning to a Rodecaster setup when I punt Chris's crap off my desk here. I'm going to be doing a Rodecaster, and that'll allow me to eliminate the Cloudlifter and the Shure 18i8, and make it a little bit simpler, and I can control things a little easier, and we can run 4 mics easier. And then we have a headphone preamp, and so I'm going to be able to eliminate a lot of things with the Rodecaster.
Let's see. Tim Brown is asking here, did you guys receive the shipment of zebra cakes? Yes, we did, Tim. Thank you very much. You didn't know about those, though, because...
They shelter me from those zebra
Yes.
cakes and distribute them out, yeah. So
Your mom said that was mean.
Yeah.
We all appreciate it, though, Tim, because they were divvied up amongst everyone else. But Matt's mom, Miss Janet, she was not a fan, and she would not let Matt see them.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew they existed after we ate them. Yoshi, $10 super chat here. What are your plans with the E46M?
My plan is to, when I want to get it here and drive it around stock for a little while, and before I tear it apart, that's what I say. We'll see how long that lasts. But I want to finish the E36. Get that. I guess the E36 will probably never be finished. We'll always be tinkering it. I want to get it to whatever its interim journeyed destination is, if you will. And so the E46 is going to come, and what I might do is I'll probably paint correct the E46 and polish it depending on what it looks like when I get it, or coat it, I should say, polish and coat it. But I'm thinking Olin's Road and Track, so Olin's DFE, coilovers. I'm not sure what wheels I'm going to end up with on it. But some sort of wheels. I might even just stay stock, stock with spacers, whatever they're called, competition package wheels that are on it. I'm gonna do the CSL style Carbonius intake, which Waba just did in his. I'm gonna do carbon roof, so we'll do a sunroof delete and do a Carbonius carbon roof, and then various interior cleanup stuff. And I'll be doing M Performance seats, and I might get them something stitched, something cool. But that's about it. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do with the exhaust, but I'm sure we're going to have to chase that quite a bit. Whether we do like Rogue Engineering, El Diablo, or something like that, I'm going to try to figure out how to make it not so raspy. But yeah, the E46 is the first thing I'm going to do when I get it. Is we're going to go down to the dry ice lab. Down in Tavares Eustis, and this time I'm going to do the car, and so with the tutelage of Mr. Dreisman, Scott Ailes, and so I'm gonna learn how to do it myself, and he's got air conditioning down there now, so now I'll be willing to do it. So that'll be the first thing we'll do is dry ice clean it, and that'll also help find some more people that are interested in dry ice stuff. I got a question for the audience.
All right.
So go do this. Go to APG Ranger, Automotive Performance Group Ranger, Ford Off-Road Ranger. Yeah. So what do you guys think about this? A giveaway. Bryce is going to lose his crap if he's listening to this. Apparently Bryce hates Ford Rangers. So
why?
I guess they've had them, in Europe and Asia for a long time, and Australia, and we just got it here, and we got some crappy watered down version of it or something like that. But there's a company called APG out of California, Garden View or something like that, California. And so I'd buy a Ranger. What do they call it?
Like a Raptor Ranger sort of thing.
Sort of, yeah. But this is I'd buy the Ranger Lariat, which has the slightly different grill, has leather, and it has MySync 3 and all that stuff. Has all the best that Ford has to offer anyway. And so a Lariat Ranger is like $39,000 or something like that. And then I'm gonna send it out to APG. We'll go out there and we'll see if we can do it in a few days. But we'll do their APG Pro Runner Ranger package. See, look how freaking cool that little thing is, right? And so we do the whole package, build it out with all the King shocks and everything, and do some. I'll probably do some method wheels and convert to 35s and those fenders. So those fenders are all carbon fiber on the front and rear. The bed liner fenders or bed fenders or whatever you call those things. Those are carbon fiber as well, and they widen the truck by 10 inches. And it makes it a pretty awesome, like on street / hybrid little thing 2.3 liter 4-cylinder turbo. You do a tune, intake, a couple other little things, and they make about a little shy of 400 horsepower. Sound like crap, but about 400 horsepower. And so what do you think about doing a giveaway on one of these?
That would be cool.
I think so too.
I like that.
I mean, all in would be probably 85 grand, to build the truck. I'm sure we could raise that much pretty easily. This is something I'd love to experience for 4 or 5, 6 months, but I don't know that I want a Ranger. Who knows? Maybe I love it. But my buddy Charles turned me on to this. He said, "Oh, you got to check out this Pro Runner thing." He's like, "I want to build one of these." And you choose your, so they would set everything up, outfit it. I'd probably be some other things outside of them that I would want to do, like bed cover and things like that. Some maybe bed organization and things. But they'd be fun to play with the 4-wheel drive stuff. I'd get the 4-wheel drive version, and I don't have a ton of expertise, but I don't have expertise on E46 right now either. And so you do intercooler, exhaust, all that kind of stuff. And you spend probably 40 grand on parts on the thing, and so you have an $80,000 truck with lights, and the thing it's pretty sick. And it takes if you go to Ford's site and look at a Ranger, and look at it, you're like, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But then when you look at this thing, even that's a render. But even if you look at the real deal, it looks freaking incredible. Change the wheels to Method NVs, and it looks way better. But what do you guys think about doing a giveaway on that? You do like some bronze NVs. It would be freaking sick. The NVs are what's on the Raptor out there now. With some 35s.
Titanium. There you go.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun. We shoot the whole series and then building it. They would obviously love it because they'd get, we'd all get lots of exposure. And then do a giveaway and make 40, 50 grand, and I'm sure we could put together that. The issue, of course, is getting stuff to do the giveaway with. So we'd have to figure that out.
All right, yeah, lots of chatting here now. This is good.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that everybody's going to start sending me emails? Hey, I've got the perfect car. How about this? How about you buy my car and do a giveaway on it and split it with me? Get out of here. I don't want your freaking 2018 Miata. Or I don't want your Audi RS, whatever. Your not an RS, but your Audi S5, to do a giveaway on. These guys wake up there. I got this best idea. How about Matt buys my car from me and then gives me half the money? Does all the work. Or even better, how about he just buys it from me? Like, he's probably never thought of doing a E55 AMG at 2012. So what are you talking about? So anyway, that's what I've been thinking about, doing and then we could do some fun stuff. I could go do a little off-roading in it, then talk about detailing it and all that stuff. I think that could be fun. We use the undercarriage cleaner and all that stuff on it. So I think that would be that'd be a cool thing to do.
It's cool.
Chris hasn't said no, so that's usually a good sign that we're on to something.
This one, yeah. It's different enough that we would I think it'd be very good.
Yeah, I think that thing's cool. I'd like to have it for a little while. I don't think I would love it long term, but
Michelle may like that more than she likes the Raptor.
It's tiny though,
All right, up. The Southside guys are chiming in here. They didn't get any of the zebra cakes when they came in. Sorry.
Yeah.
You guys are out filming some.
Yeah, they get everything else, so they can't.
You get free car parts, so stop complaining.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got another super chat here from Alligator Window 10. I've been for some OG truck content. That thing looks sick. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I really like it. I might do it.
APG Ford Ranger plus bronze TE37s.
Yeah, I could be down for that. I think he has those in stock at Showstoppers. I think the bolt pattern is 6x139 on those. I hope, because that's what he has a lot of stock of.
I think it's a good idea, Matt. It'd be fun to play with the 4-wheel drive stuff. Yeah. I'd prefer a GT4 giveaway, but I'd be game for the Ranger too, says Jeff C.
Yeah.
Wouldn't trust the Ranger drivetrain standing up to 35s for too long. Well, that may be true. Cool looking, but the interior is crap.
Yeah.
That's no.
Well, I mean, it's a Ford interior.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty acceptable for a $30,000 truck.
Lots of agreement. Imran, sorry, has a super chat here. We kind of already addressed this. Hey, Matt, what's latest on Destination OG? Any high-level numbers on what return on investment would look like?
Yeah, I don't really care about return on investment. I'd probably lose a little bit of money each year because the properties are in the in the multi-million-dollar range, and I'd be doing something on the order of $6,000 to $8,000 a week on rentals, and we'd probably only rent it say 20 weeks a year. But if I could own a $3 million or $2.5 million house for and it costs me $20,000 a year of net loss, I would do that. I'm sure most people would, and if it covers a lot of the costs, that would be cool.
We got another super chat from Yoshi, $10 again. What does Maddie think of the new Bronco? I heard someone at OG bought one.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the Bronco's going to be a little longer tail, but hey, maybe we build an APG Bronco. Looks like they'll probably get into that too. Could be kind of neat.
Michael Garman says OG blender bottle giveaway. Blender bottles, by the way, we got an email. August the 3rd now. The week of August the 3rd is the expected when they'll ship.
That's not that far away.
Yeah, we're getting close. I'm ready.
And the guy said it was a delay. I thought there was going to be like 6 months or something.
Yeah, just original I think was June, and now it's pushed off till August. But we're waiting on it, Michael. I'm ready as well. Let's see. Matt Long on Instagram. Curious if you have bought any NFTs with your venture into crypto. I know you follow Gary Vee, maybe a V friend, whatever that is.
No, I don't really have much interest in that kind of stuff. I'm not very rarely an early adopter anyway in things. It's just not my thing, not my bag. And I used to get kind of bent out of shape that I wasn't a good early adopter on things, like whether it's investing or whatever, but it's just not my thing. I'm just not interested in it. You have to read a lot, and I'm not a very good reader of things.
All right, let's see. I got maybe one or two more questions here. This one, hopefully the SEC won't kick us off for talking about this, but you can say. Gracie on Instagram. What are your thoughts on mega backdoor Roth IRA conversion? I'd love to hear your insight on this.
I don't know what the mega part is. That must be a new thing.
Maybe it's new.
I mean, a backdoor Roth is which what I generally do. The backdoor Roth is when you just you take and you put, what you're essentially doing is you're putting after-tax money into a Roth IRA, right? So you're just taking after-tax money and just putting it in there. What's the mega part? That's a new thing.
Mega lets people save up to $38,500 in a Roth IRA or Roth 401k in 2021, but not all 401k plans allow them.
Yeah, what's the mega part? How do you do that? Are you doing a catch-up contribution for previous years?
It's complicated, many moving parts, so we'd have to read more about this.
How mega works. Go back up to the top. I think it told us what you scroll down. Right there, that first line. Let's see. With a Roth IRA, they're just talking about a regular IRA. Income rules restrict, right? So if you make too much money, you can't make a Roth contribution. The maximum contribution is $6,000 in 2021. A traditional IRA gives you immediate tax break, but the Roth you'd put with after-tax money. So a backdoor is a strategy for people whose income is too high, who would not be eligible, but could still make a regular contribution. So you simply put the money in a traditional IRA, and then you move it, you roll it into a Roth immediately. There's no contribution limits on a conversion. So you're technically converting an IRA to a Roth, but there's no gains, so you don't have to pay any tax on that move. Yeah. So the mega part takes it to the next level, as we described below. Blah blah blah. People you can also do it in 401k at work. So they must be doing like multiple years or something like that. The maximum your employer can put in a 401k is $58,000. That's including profit sharing. So go back up to I don't understand how you could put more into an IRA part. The mega backdoor Roth allows you to put $37,500 into a Roth or Roth 401k on top of the regular contribution for those accounts. If you have a Roth 401k, I understand a 401k how you could do that because you use a profit sharing contribution. You need to have Okay, so you've got to use a 401k plan in order to do the mega part. I gotcha. Because a 401k, you can do your income, your personal income. What is it? Your personal income tax or your personal 401k contribution limit, which would be about 19.5, and then there's a profit sharing eligibility on top of that, which your employer could put in. And so what they're talking about, I guess, is that even if you're income limited, you could take your profit sharing contribution and your personal contribution and do the rollover into an IRA, and then from IRA you do the conversion immediately, and you're essentially doing a backdoor contribution. But you'd have to do a Roth 401k contribution, so you don't have to pay the tax on the money, and then you can backdoor it into a Roth IRA, which, what's the point? Just leave it in your Roth 401k. So I must be missing something on why that would even matter. But again, this whole concept of and this is what I argue, is if you do a calculation. So if you're assuming, if you use like financial planning software and it does an assumption of, most financial planning software will do an assumption that when you retire, they use all your after-tax money first until you reach your required minimum distribution age of 70 and a half, and then that starts contributing. So let's say you had $100,000 in income from Social Security, pensions, and other guaranteed income sources, but you're going to have a $200,000 a year lifestyle out of your $10 million portfolio. You're taking $100,000 out of that $10 million bucks. It's going to take that $100,000 out of your after-tax money first until that goes to zero. Then it will start taking money out of your IRA, which of course now you're taking $100,000 in future money out of your IRA, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars, of which is all taxable. And so then it's showing this backloaded huge tax burden that you have. And so what more sophisticated software will do is it'll take a percentage and it'll figure out what's there really is no sophisticated financial planning software. It's all garbage, because no one in it that matters, like Google or some big company, no one's actually built any software for this. It's just a bunch of jokers, goofball financial people doing it. So the calculation, they'll try to figure out what's the most efficient way to do this, where you're using some after-tax money, you're using some tax-deferred money, and some tax-deferred but non-taxable, like Roth IRA money, and you're withdrawing from these different buckets to maximize your marginal tax bracket along the way. Which of course nobody freaking does. You just take the money out a little bit at a time from wherever seems right at the time. So most people do it. And so I would argue that you just put as much as you can into a Roth when you can. You put as much into a tax deferred regular IRA when you can, and you put as much money away in your taxable account, your taxable brokerage accounts, as you can, or real estate or whatever. The thing to keep in mind from a tax perspective with a Roth, yes, a Roth will be tax-free. Yes, there's no minimum minimum withdrawal when you're later on in life, but you'll have less money. So if you're paying the tax that you're putting into the Roth from some mythical, magical bucket of somebody else's money, then great. But what if you took that money you're paying in tax and put it into a taxable retirement account? So think about this, Chris, time value of money. If I put $10,000 in a Roth or $15,000 in an IRA, those are probably more like 12.5 in an IRA versus 10,000 in a Roth. I take that 10,000, I compound it over 30 years. I take the 12.5 and I compound it over 30 years. Which is going to be bigger?
Big time.
The 12.5 will be massively bigger, which of course the growth and the contribution is going to be taxable, all of it. Whereas the Roth, you're going to have a significantly smaller bucket of money, but it's all tax-free. My question is, or my argument is, you're never going to withdraw your entire IRA at once. You're probably not even going to withdraw large chunks at once, because hopefully you have some other income from other sources if you're going to stop working. Hopefully you just keep working forever and you never even have to mess with this crap. And so you're deferring, which means you have a bigger corpus, bigger value, bigger number. If you get away from traditional goofy retirement, because not everybody does that, and you have some hybrid version of retirement where you're consulting, especially if you have a lot of money where this tax matters. Because if you don't have a lot of money, you're not paying a lot of tax anyway, so it doesn't matter. So where this matters is if you have a lot of money. And if you have a lot of money, you're probably pretty smart. If you're pretty smart, you probably still have some market value even at older age. And so all of this bull crap about, all this stupid thing about converting Roths and worrying so much about Roths, I think is a bunch of nonsense. You don't want to convert. You don't want to pay the tax now. Plus, you have a very high probability of needing nursing care in your life, of which is a deductible itemized expense. First 10% doesn't count. I believe that's the way it works now. But anything over that 10%. So if your income in retirement is lower, your actual adjusted gross income is lower, you could then you might have massive like $200,000-$300,000 a year in medical expenses, in long-term care facility expenses, which is a deductible medical expense past the first, say, 10 grand of expenses. So you have $290,000 of medical expenses. Well, guess what you pay that with? Pay that with your taxable bucket of your multi-million-dollar bucket that you have set up versus your much smaller million-dollar bucket of tax-free money. You wouldn't want to pay medical expenses with your tax-free money because you don't get to write it off. It doesn't create any income. So the only way you're going to be able to create income in retirement outside of your income sources is by taking money out of your IRA that's creating taxable income that then is only offset. You can only offset that income from business loss or a significant medical expense in long-term care. I've had clients withdraw their entire IRA tax-free. So they tax deferred it, never paid tax on it, and withdraw the whole thing. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I would always argue, yes, when you're making $40,000 a year, making a Roth contribution makes a lot of sense. You're paying virtually no tax. You have the average American complaining about taxes. They don't pay any freaking tax. Pay nothing. If you're making less than a few $100,000 a year, you're paying virtually nothing. And so, it's so top loaded that, the gazillionaires of the world are paying a boatload of tax. Some of them that go beyond a certain level that own, massive corporations, I think they should get huge breaks because they're creating all the jobs, they're creating all the income. They're creating tax-paying entities by having, highly compensated executives and things like that. So, it doesn't bother me all that much that Apple doesn't pay any tax. They create so much income for U.S. citizens that they're paying more than their fair share in tax long term. So, this concept of let me pay all my tax, if you're making $150,000 as a couple or something like that, you are paying some tax. And so why not defer? I mean, if you're making $150K a year as a couple and you have a couple kids, it's not like you're saving $80,000 a year, And so if you're saving $20,000 a year, wouldn't it be better to save $25,000 a year and defer it instead of paying $5,000 in extra tax and saving $20K tax deferred, tax free? I mean, just think about this. I mean, am I crazy here? Doesn't it make logical mathematical sense that if I save $25,000 a year for 30 years versus $20,000 a year for 30 years, and I may have the possibility of never paying tax on that money, and I'm going to pass it on to my kids, and if they have to pay tax, they have to pay tax. But it's able to grow so substantially by compounding, simple rule of time value of money. Why in the world are you freaking worried about trying to do all this Roth conversion nonsense? That's just my take on it, but what do I know?
So there you go, Gracie. Hope that answered the question. I think you did. It was good. I learned a little bit too. That's good.
So just, the first time I did this, I just got out a sheet of notebook paper and just wrote down, okay, year one, what if I put 12.5 in versus 10? In year two, what if that compounded to 8%? Year three, year four, you can just do it with a financial calculator. But I did it like manually on paper. And at the end of it, it was like I had $3.5 million in my IRA taxable or $1.2 million in my Roth or whatever that numbers worked out to be. And I'm like, well, there's a $2 million difference here. And then let's say you live another 30 years past your technical retirement age. And one is you don't need any of that money. You keep deferring it. Yeah, you're going to have to take required minimum distribution, but your required minimum distribution is like 3%, 3 and change percent. Your IRA would last forever. If it's compounding at even 4, 5, 6, 8%, that IRA is never going to run out of money in your lifetime unless you're taking huge chunks out of it. So you just have this juggernaut of tax-deferred principal value that's just continuing to grow. You can then pass it on to the next generation. They then have a required minimum distribution based on their life expectancy at the age of receipt. And then you can pass it on to the next generation, and they have a required minimum distribution based on, chances are the kid's going to blow the money. So let them frickin' pay the tax, So, I don't know. That's my take on it, but what do I know? I'd say give up this notion of traditional retirement. It's freaking nonsense. Can't believe I spent half my life teaching people how to do that. Find something you love and then never quit. That's what's so great about, I doubt my parents will ever retire. So they'll always have an income. So then all this money doesn't even matter. I'm going to blow it on a freaking GT2 or something someday, So, that's just my take on it. If you could find some way to, to find something you love, and then even if you're not doing it at full capacity, if you've amassed some knowledge, you can sell that value to somebody somewhere, whether it's consulting or, like my buddy Charles' dad, he's always doing all these consulting gigs for, he was the superintendent for various, Catholic schools, and he still works to this day. He'd retire but take 6 months off and then go back and go fix some broken system somewhere in some city, and he did that for years and years, and I think he still does quite a bit of consulting work. And if you love it, you just keep doing it, and you can command probably more than you were making in your peak earning years because you have this body of knowledge. So why would you ever need to retire? So all these Roth things that people are always worried about, you don't have to worry about it at all if you don't have any money. Unless we're talking 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 30 million. If you're talking about you're going to have $750K at retirement, it doesn't matter. You're not paying any tax anyway. So defer as much as you can. That's the way I look at it. Defer more because chances are you're not maxing out because you don't have enough dollars to pay the bills and save. So defer more, and that way you have to take less out of your paycheck to get a bigger number because you're not paying the tax on the money up front.
All right. Thank you for that question, Gracie. Thank you all for sticking around. 346 people still hanging in there. That's awesome because it's 10 to 4. And today's Friday, by the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes Matt doesn't know what day it is. I have to remind him.
Yeah, I have no idea. I thought yesterday was Friday.
Today's Friday.
I do know because if I'm over here, no one's here. And then I'm like, oh, today's Saturday.
That's
okay.
what I told someone just recently. I was like, Betty shows up on Saturday wondering where everybody is.
What's going on? Is it the holiday? What's going on?
Oh, man.
Chris, get everybody in here. He's like, Matt, it's Sunday. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. I always know it's Sunday because I'm always trying to duck out on church. All right, people. All right. We'll see you next week.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the questions.
Oh, I didn't even finish my water. It's kind of handy having water laying around.